Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new video about why do we get stuck. Today, I'm going to talk about the importance of knowing your non-negotiables. But before I get to that, let me say, wow, it's been a very long few weeks. I've been so busy at work. I had no time to record new videos. I think you can expect some fluctuations as far as my schedule on recording videos, okay? But keep following me on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe or my newsletter, even better, so you never miss one of these videos. All right, so back to today's episode. Why do we get stuck? This is a series in which in every short video, I talk about something that might keep you stuck in the hope that you hear it and maybe some awareness arises. Okay, and then I give you a tip on what you can do if this resonates. So, the importance of knowing your non-negotiables. I think this is a buzz term now. A lot of people use it. Why do we get stuck if we don't know our non-negotiables? Here's why. It's very human. I do it, my clients do it. It's very human to get confused about what you really truly need to be happy in your career or in your business. Okay. What do I mean by that? Well, first of all, most of us, if somebody asks us, what do you need? The first thing we'll say is money, right? We'll give a number of what we need to be happy. And while sometimes that is absolutely true and that number is accurate, sometimes we go to the money first because we don't quite understand what else makes us happy. And we don't understand how having or not having our non-negotiables might even change the amount of money we then need or want. Okay, so some of the things I see. So a big one, a very, very big one, is that a lot of us, I think, underestimate how important it is, the quality of the relationships we have with the people we work with. Okay, whether it's your clients or your boss or your coworkers, some of us really underestimate the importance of that relational aspect of work. Now, you probably are already on board, and this is not something people miss is if a relationship is really bad or toxic. Yes, obviously, we're all aware that if we have a boss who's a jerk or, co-workers that are really mean, we're not gonna have a good time at work. But I'm here not talking about just like what's good or bad. I'm talking about the quality of the relationship. Okay, so for example, feeling appreciated or feeling there's a certain amount of psychological safety where you can make a mistake and people make mistakes sometimes, but the environment is welcoming or supportive of people learning. Or maybe what you like is a much more hardcore, people push each other and you feel like there's good, well-meant competition. So you're pushed to be your best, and that's what makes you feel great, right? Maybe a lot of appreciation and compliments makes you a bit uncomfortable, and you prefer people that go to the point, are direct, and everybody's much more focused on the task at hand rather than connecting heart to heart, right? So there's a range. And this is one of the places where I think the non-negotiables very often can be unconscious. We might not have full awareness of the range of relational environments and relations we can experience at work, and then what truly is a need for us. Again, not a preference, not a want, but a need. So maybe this is a good place for me to take a moment to define what non-negotiables are. So non-negotiables, it's right there in the term, are things that you cannot negotiate. In other words, are absolute needs of what will make you happy. And again, I think the reason why most of us go to the money first is because the money feels concrete. So it feels like, well, if I have to, pay for certain things, there's a certain number there. So of course that's non-negotiable. That's my bottom, right? Or if you have more of an aspirational thing, this is all the things I want. So that's non-negotiable. So we see the correlation. We get it as like, I can't really go below a certain amount because otherwise I'm not going to be happy or I'm not going to be able to pay for what I want or need. But we have trouble seeing for things that are not concrete. But here's the thing, those things make as much of a difference because if you're sensitive to certain types of relational environments and you are in a place that is not a good match for you, again, at this deeper level of what you really need, that is the equivalent of not having enough money to pay rent, meaning your system inside will get worse and worse and worse. It's going to start losing confidence. You're going to start feeling stuck where you start doubting yourself, you start doubting that maybe there's better places. You keep, trying to fix and putting a lot of energy into fixing the job that's not working for you, all that kind of stuff. So working on your non-negotiables, it's really a way of bringing awareness to what is. It doesn't feel concrete, but is really, really important and as concrete to your happiness as something like money, right? Another one that is very important. This one, I think people tend to be a little bit more awareness usually if they've been in the workplace for a while, is how collaborative versus, solo you want to work, right? We all have preferences. Again, there's a range and there's no right or wrong. Um, Another one that I'm gonna make a whole video just about that is how much of a big picture thinker you are. Okay, and that's a big thing too, because if you're very detail oriented and you like to work with details and things at the granular level, and you like a certain systematic approach to things and so forth, that's very, very different that if you are more of an intuitive person, if you have trouble with details, but are really great at the bigger picture. So that can be also non-negotiable. Again, we tend to see something like this as, oh, I'm struggling at this job. I should be better at, being detail oriented. I should be better at being a big picture thinker. But I think it's very important to understand where is the range that is actually a non-negotiable for you. That's the optimal healthy range for you. And then within that, yes, of course, you can, expand and improve. But if you try to go completely outside of it, you're gonna start spending a ton of energy trying to be good at something that you're simply not meant to be good at. We want to use our gifts. We want to use what makes sense to us, what makes us feel good, what we're here to contribute to the world. This is at least what my work is based on. So I hope you're starting to see something here. Because it's so difficult for people just in their head to come up with their non-negotiables. And I think a huge problem is, again, that we think some things are non-negotiables, but it's really not the case for some of them. We need outside help in really finding that awareness. It's sort of like, we all have a bit of a blind spot there. I'm hosting a live interacting workshop. I'm going to record parts of it, the parts where it's not people sharing. Okay, so you can always sign up and just watch the recording later. But I really invite you to actually participate, come online and join me live for this, because there's something that comes that's very powerful with being with others and getting help on figuring out what are your non-negotiables. So I'm gonna post the link is at the beginning of June. There's two different time zones. I mean, two different times that I'm doing this to help people in different time zones. So you can RSVP to just one. You don't have to come to both. It's gonna be the same thing twice. All right. Why do you think you're stuck? Let me know. Maybe share in a comment what's coming up for you or send me an email. Let me know. And I will see you hopefully soon with more videos. And I hope to see you in June. And remember, find everything else at repurposeyourpurpose.com.